Good morning, everyone. Today is Rosh Chodesh, a good Chodesh. Today is Chanukah, Freilich Chanukah. Today is Sunday, a wonderful Sunday to each and every one of you. So nice to see you. Good morning to Deborah, to Estelle, to Caroline, and all those that are still tuning in with us this morning. Hope you're still enjoying the donuts. I know that after Chanukah, I need to go on a serious diet. I said after I had the first one last night, I'm not going to have any more. And that was a bit too late. Then I had three more, I think, or two more. Certainly too many. Anyways, I want to share a brief idea that we shared in Shul yesterday. You know, one of the most baffling aspects of the Hanukkah story is the fact that we find that the Hasmoneans, having quelled and overcome the Greek Empire, the Greek soldiers who were there in thousands, they then managed to clean up the temple, and then they were going to rededicate and to light the menorah. Okay, now they recognized they only had one flask of oil, and we mentioned the other day, I think it was Friday, that in fact they could have used impure oil. It was extenuating circumstances, if ever there was such a situation, and therefore they had a dispensation to use impure oil. Why didn't they? Why did they bother to start off using that one single flask of oil, knowing that they couldn't continue, knowing that they were setting themselves up for, as it were, failure? So I want to share with you a little idea, a little story actually. And the story comes from the Barcelona Olympics, a story that I'm sure many of you may recall. It was considered afterwards, retrospectively, as one of the most iconic moments in the Olympic history. Derek Redmond, everyone remember Derek Redmond? So he was an Olympic sprinter for Great Britain. And in fact, he had set the fastest time in his qualifying round. And he won the next round, and now he was into the semi-final of the Olympics, and he was doing really well. He was racing around. You may remember seeing the pictures. He was racing around. He was in front. He would have won it. And all of a sudden, we all gave a gasp as we saw Derek Redmond pull up in absolute agony, excruciating pain, holding his hamstring. The worst thing that could possibly happen to an Olympic athlete at the moment when he was, the most critical moment in his life, he was destined to win the gold medal, was that he managed to injure himself with a hamstring right at that critical moment. And so he pulls up in agony, and his race is over. Everyone races past him and go on to win, and his race is over. The officiants come onto the track with a stretcher, and they suggest to him quite strongly he should lay down. He was in agony, and they were going to stretch him off. And all of a sudden, he falls to his knees. He's in absolute agony. And then all of a sudden, he does something which defies any logic. He pushes them away, the officials with the stretcher. Somehow, he manages through supernatural, I think you could guess, or Herculean efforts to be able to pull himself from the ground to his full height, and he starts to continue to race. He's hobbling on one leg. He's in agony. And what does he do? He keeps going. And as he keeps going, the officials at the Olympics keep coming on and telling him, "No, your race is over. It's finished. The race is finished. Stop, come off the track. We'll get help for you." And he pushes each one away. And then you see something incredible. His father comes onto the track. We're all familiar with the scene. His father came onto the track, and he put his arm around his father. And together they manage to hobble their way around the track. And he manages to cross the finishing line, and then he crumples into a heap. The crowd go mad. He gets a standing ovation, and the noise is incredible. It's more than the winner of the Olympics. This was the highlight of the Barcelona Olympics, and arguably the greatest moment in Olympic history. And it was achieved by a man called Derek Redmond, who lost, who failed, who in fact was disqualified. He was not considered to have finished that race. Yet we all know that the fact is that this was one of the most significant moments, the most inspirational moments in sporting history. And you know what it was? That he gave his all. He did that. He gave everything he possibly could. He gave whatever he had in the tank, and he gave it in the best way possible. And so often in life, friends, if you think about it, we have a psyche that it's all about the end results, the bottom line. What are we going to achieve? What are we going to accomplish? And it's about, am I going to finish? Am I going to complete? Am I going to be the outstanding success? And anything less than that is considered a failure. That's the world that we live in. But that's not the Jewish approach. In fact, we find quite the opposite. Lefum agra, according to the effort is the reward. It's not about finishing. It's not about completing. It's not about being number one. It's about the effort that we put into life. The Hasmoneans knew when they opened that single flask of uncontaminated pure oil with the seal of the high priest, they knew that that was the only flask they had. They knew that there was no way that they were going to be able to keep going because that oil was only enough for one day. But they said, this is all we've got. Let's do the best we can with the resources that we've been blessed with, that we've been given. Such a critical lesson, a timeless lesson, an eternal value for us to be able to take with us into Chanukah and beyond, into the darkness of the winter. It's not about all or nothing. It's not about the winner takes it all and the loser stands so small, as the song goes. It's about giving your all. And as long as you've given your all, you've dug deep, you've done the best you can, that's all that's asked for us. And that effort ignites and shines a tremendously bright light in the darkness around us. Wishing everyone a wonderful Chanukah. Enjoy the remainder of the festival in whichever way you plan on doing so, and look forward to joining you tomorrow. Take care, all the very best. Chanukah Sameach.